Okay, why an energetic writing practice? I am not going to say that an energetic writing practice is like going to be this revolutionary thing that nobody has ever done. I am going to say that the energetic writing practice is yours. So, your practice around doing this is the one that you get to create and refine and have a relationship with. So, the energetic writing practice is the relationship you have to having a space where you sit and you connect, you reconnect to yourself, you connect to the earth, you connect above, you expand out, you really start to feel like what it means to be in your own energy, what it means to recognize when you've been taking on a lot of energies and getting present, right? So my first thing that I would do is do kind of what I just said, is really call all my energy power back to me and feel into it. Connect below, feel into the earth. I'll imagine like tree roots growing from my feet. I will imagine putting my feet in the water because water means a lot to me. I will imagine myself in the woods. I love the mountains. We live in Colorado. And I then will, even envision a lot of energy coming up from the earth and then also being able to connect with that energy and then connect above. And so I even, think about connecting to air, connecting to fire, connecting to the sun, connecting to the moon, connecting to my higher self, connecting to my guides, whatever words make sense for you. And this is a very intentional thing because a lot of times we're going throughout our days not as aware of what energy we bring into a space, what energy we leave with, what energy we're interacting with, what we're taking on as us, what we're trying to hide from. And so a lot of times, we go through our days like a little clenched up, a little bit in hiding. And it can feel overwhelming, it can feel messy. We may go to bed with that still present in us. And so this is really a moment to remind yourself of who you are. Remind yourself, it's you. You're here, you're present. You can feel what it feels like to be you. That feels like the intention. So you may not already have your own meditation practice, your own energy expansion practice. So that is why it's your energetic writing practice, because what comes next is the writing part. Because what this is for me and how this has been really significant in Energy of Your Message, where I run the 12-week mentorship program, is it's about really understanding your message and how you express it. So, who you are as the messenger, what you really feel called to speak on, to teach on, to guide people through, to explore, to learn, to study, to integrate. And so, I sometimes will begin with the question, which I will pull cards on for myself. You do not have to pull cards. Again, this is your own practice, but I do like to pull cards. And I really love the storytelling of cards. No matter what deck you're interacting with, honestly, there's a story to it, right? And I'm a huge fan of story and of character development. And so being able to interact with a message in that way works really, really well for me, but it might be different for you. You might ask to see, visuals. You might connect with colors. You might connect with an emotion, with feeling. But the question I recommend starting with is, where do I direct my energy and attention today? Once you've reconnected to your energy, where do I redirect it, or where do I direct it? Where do I focus my energy and attention today? Another question I like to ask is, what's the message? Very simply, like, what's the message? And that helps me start to get into the expression. So this is where I recommend handwriting. My partner and I both journal in this room, so these are not my pens, but these are their pens. But I recommend handwriting because we have enough studies to show how our brain is activated very differently when we handwrite. It is not a requirement. Again, like, very, very importantly to say, this is your practice. And I do have my laptop sitting here because this is where, like, if I'm going to get into writing something more extensively, my hand is going to get too tired. I pull out the laptop. That's where, like, I go from what is the thing that, like, I'm receiving? What's the message that's coming through, to like, ooh, all right, I'm in flow. I'm going to go type the thing. So another thing that can be really helpful with the energetic writing practice that I first teach in Energy of Your Message is to start with, what to release. And this was taught to me where a lot of times we're carrying around a lot of thoughts, we're carrying around a lot of logistics in our mind, we're carrying around things that people have said, we're carrying around things that are just now beginning to come to the surface, where you may not have been in a space to process that thing. May not have been in a space to really see it yet. And now that you are in this practice and you're in this intention of like, I want to really come back to myself. I want to be the version of me that is fully expressed in the world, right? You're agreeing to be the messenger. You're agreeing to be the taboo teacher. You're saying, hey, I want to say yes to the body of work. I want to say yes to what I'm here to create, to this creative big life. And that was like a lot of the wording that I used. I want to live the creative big life. And in that is a lot of releasing. And that can come up, if you are pulling cards, you could ask that question, what am I releasing right now? Or what is being asked to release right now to express myself more honestly, more authentically? And that could be the first thing you write. One thing that I do recommend is when beginning that, it can be helpful to have two different journals where one is just the stuff you're releasing so that you let yourself just get it out and you don't filter it and you don't censor it because that cannot be a full release, right? Where we have to be honest, we have to say the things that are coming through. And sometimes it's releasing boring stuff, to be totally honest with you. It's like releasing your grocery list from your mind. And a lot of the times it's stuff that has been wanting to come out. For me, a lot of stuff around scarcity, around being chosen, around relationships, around fear of getting hurt and betrayed because of past experiences, fear of being misunderstood. And so that would come out. It may have been me needing to release feelings of resentment and bitterness around a specific situation or person that I wasn't naming, that I was almost trying to be too good of a person to name, right? Like I was trying to think about, okay, well, this was their intention and this was their point of view. Nah, sometimes you just got to be a bit of the villain, a bit of the asshole, and just say, you know what? No one's going to read this. I need to get this out. I need to be honest. And there it is. And you might be surprised by the ways in which you have certain ancestors, you have certain guides on your team who are going to cheer you on when you do so. And then what you can also have is a journal where you're like, all right, this is the message. This is what I want to receive. This is what I want to express. But it will feel bolder, clearer because you were willing to let some stuff go, right? So you cleared room for the things to come through. Now, I don't do the two journal thing anymore. You do not have to. I often will have two different pages for things. If I need to rip out a page because it was a full release page, then I'll just rip it out. That I'm not going to say that you have to have a very specific ritual around it. And then if you mess it up, you mess it up. Your energy and your intention is the key here. And this isn't like something that you may like figure out the very first time, this is the way that I want to do this. This has been a practice over time. And I'm going to be really honest with you. I was very resistant to it. I was very stubborn about it. I was like, I'll never be someone who does this every day until it then became the thing that I was very protective of. And also, a lot of times, like we put off things like this because we think we need to have our other obligations in order to do these things, right? Like I can't go to this yoga class because I need to do these things first. I can't have that moment outside with my feet in the water because I need to do these things first. Where I had to flip that for myself was understanding that these things are what feed the energy for the other parts of my life. So the things that I felt obligated to that were also starting to feel like a lot of pressure and like I was being crushed by them, being crushed by a sense of obligation and duty and being needed and being a projector in human design, feeling that resentment, feeling that bitterness. That's the red flag, right? Knowing this practice that I do every morning, going and being outside, going to the gym, going and playing soccer with my friends, whatever the thing is that feels like it has to be put on the back burner until is actually moved to the front burner. It's moved to the front because it is what allows me to come in more nourished, more present, clear, creative, and that really serves my clients. That really is incredible for my relationships. It's incredible for me, right? The energy, life force, the vitality that you deserve to feel. So having this not be an extra, it's a like when I can get to it, seeing it as it's a part of, what you do. It's like part of the routine. You get dressed, you brush your teeth, you take a shower, I don't know. But whatever it is, this gets to be part of the thing that's part of taking care of you. And so I recommend doing it in the morning, but you don't have to. I know that's just kind of how I roll. I have a hard time saying you need to do this way. And I know there are some folks and teachers and coaches who do that. I just don't. I will say that when we work together, if you're an energy of your message for the 12 weeks, there is a 12-week commitment to sticking with your energetic writing practice. I will check in with you on it. And it's pretty cool what comes through when you do. It has been really incredible to see clients come to calls and say, I just had this thing pop in my head. I just had this idea. I just had this realization. I just had this nudge to go do this. And it came after they started to really reprioritize this kind of ritual for themselves.